And on to our final finalist. Please give a warm welcome to Dougie from The Path to Independence.
A third of care leavers in the UK lose their home every year. They are 5 times more likely to commit suicide or end their own life. And they make up 25% of the homeless population. My name is Dougie Stringer. I'm the co-founder and director of the Path to Independence. Professionally, I'm a social worker, but I spent many years in care as a direct result of my mum taking her own life and my dad becoming an alcoholic. Today, my mission is to help as many other young people thrive as they transition out of care successfully. So, a recent Ofsted report concluded essentially that young people really struggle transitioning out of care and don't really know what to do with their bills, their finances, and they really become overwhelmed with debt, and they can't really trust the professionals that are there to help them, and there's not really many of them either. So as you can see, it's very clear that the homeless population is made up of a lot of young people leaving care, and young people don't know what to do to try and prevent that, and neither do the professionals. The average age for somebody leaving care is 18. The general population are 24, with much more of a support network. So our solution then? TikTok. Kind of. We're tapping into that culture. Young people want fast, direct, quick information 24 hours a day. They don't want to be watching reams and reams of text or looking at things on paper. They want something very quick. Over my last 8 to 10 years as a support worker, a social worker and what we call a person advisor, we've created loads of different questions. These are just some of the examples. So we might think it's very easy to set up a bank account or understand what we can do to budget money. But a lot of young people don't know. They don't know where to go for these bits of information. And these are frequently asked questions that I'm getting asked all of the time. So why? Well, as we just discussed, young people want something quick, easy and engaging. And also delivered by someone like myself that's got a little bit of an idea of their background or what it's like to be in care. So information, I've got a demonstration in a second, but very similar to this page. So it's very quick, very easy to get information. I'm not the expert in finance. You know, there's some really good stuff out there, from Citizen Advice to Which to Money Helper. There's a lot of stuff out there. So we're almost bringing it as a tool in and creating that 2-minute video where young people, yeah, they can go and access that, but they're unlikely to. So we're doing it in a really good, efficient way. So this demonstration allows you to see from a service user or a young person's perspective, but also from the perspective of a local authority or an organisation able to then set up the app and put information on there. So it's a little bit longer than what I would have hoped, really, but it really gives you a sense of how we're able to put information on, as well as look at it from that young person's perspective.
So here we've got Birmingham Children's Trust, and there's 3 modules which are by default included, more on the way. And the idea is that with each of these modules, you can either choose to include that so that your young people will see it or not. And additionally, you can add your own modules. So very, very simple. You can, if we say local support, for example, you can add that and then give it an image. I'm just going to reuse that one there. And then here again, I can choose whether I display that or not. So I could be working on it, testing it out, and then when I'm happy with it, I can put it live. And the idea is that for each module, so if I go in here as admin, you'll see that all it looks like is a CMS effectively. And it's a very simple way to add snippets of text, an image, upload a video, or nest a sub-page. So for example, a sub-page here looks like this. You can see we've got a button which says, do you need help now? And if I go into that sub-page, again, it's exactly the same format. It's just broken down into really small chunks. I can delete or I can move things around, really, really straightforward. But what does that actually look like? So if I publish this, then you'll see that this is the app that the young people log into. So they'll receive an invitation. So I'll just mention that quickly as well, actually. So you go to your invites, add an invite, send that, and they'll get an email. And then once they've logged in, they'll show up on your members. And from here, you can manage it nice and easy. You can reset their password, or if they're no longer using the system, you can remove them from the system. And so here we do, I'm going to log in as a test account.
The suspense.
And here we go. So this is what it actually ends up looking like. So they'll see, and of course it's fully responsive. So we've got mobile version as well as desktop version. But if I go in, this is how it corresponds. So in that housing section that we looked at there, you'll see that there's a sub page which says, do you need help now? Now this is a special kind of content because on each of the pages there may be a need for kind of immediacy in particular answers. And so what you'll see is that you get a video, and these are the kind of bite-sized videos that Dougie was talking about. Not sure if you can hear the sound, but the idea is that each one is a small section of text and a video, as Dougie says, to really just keep it short and sweet and answer that particular thing. And then if we drill down in more, then you get more options, more detail in each particular situation. So for example, as well here, we've got some links. So this is about what are my housing options. If I click on that, I've got more options, again, another video. Some possible options here: social housing, private accommodation, supported lodging. Really, really simple, really small, bite-sized bits of information. And then links go out externally. So if they click on one of these, that takes them to the particular website. And then these are really easy to add. So they just link, you just put in the text and the URL. So very, very simple CMS to manage. But it means that what content you can build up as much as you want, add as many modules as you like. You utilize the ones that Dougie and team are creating, and then manage what people will see at any time. So you can control whether you turn something on or off live in the system.
So that's a quick demonstration. Obviously, if you come over to our stand later on, I can show you what I've done for the Trailblazing Awards. I've put a lot of sponsorship information in there. So it's not took me long to do at all. So an organisation can set up their own thing, or they can get us to do it. It doesn't take long at all. So as you can see, I've introduced myself already, but Tom Wall is at the back somewhere. He's the IT specialist. He's been in IT for many years, I think 10 years. Tom's worked in IT. Jonathan's our developer, absolutely brilliant. You know, he's worked he's done apps for Asda, for example. So he's got a lot of knowledge in and around, not just IT, but developing apps as well. And Jane is fantastic. She knows a lot about what Ofsted are requiring local authorities to do. And that's important because Ofsted, like schools, oversee what the expectations are and give grading. And Ofsted, like we've seen before, know that there's more to be needed in this industry. So we believe if you can see it, you can believe it. A lot of young people don't see someone like them that are doing something. So I'm speaking to other young people that have been in care on the podcast that then they're able to tap into in the app. So it's not just information. I'm also wanting it to be where they're inspired as well. So there are loads of benefits to the young people. So it allows them to work through the device or through the laptop 24 hours a day. There's no coming back in 2 weeks' time to do modules on paper like it is at the moment. It's very quick, very effective, and they know the information they get at that point is up to date and relevant as well. So it frees up a support worker or social worker's time. You can get the young person to work through the device, the modules, and then come back in a few weeks' time knowing that that information has been given without them even being there. In terms of local authority, we can pull reports off the app. We can then, well, the local authority can then give that report to the DFE and Ofsted, and it really demonstrates how they're able to improve outcomes. It will reduce homelessness. So if a young person is working through the modules at 16 and 17, by 18, they're going to be much more confident and prepared to then take on a tenancy and then to manage that properly. It doesn't stop at 18. You know, we want young people to use it at 24, 25 even, because like we say, young people will find something that they're struggling with at 24, 25 that they can get directly through the app. Reporting is a big one. We've had many discussions of how we can report it. For the local authority, it's really important that we do. At the moment, we're going through a scoring system. So if a young person goes onto the finance module, for example, and today they're scoring themselves a 1, then next week or the week after, and they come back to it and they're a 4, well, then we've done something right. As I said before, localised pages are really important for places like Birmingham Leaving Care Team, who really want local information, local support and local news on there. John has worked really, really hard on GDPR and making sure we're absolutely bang on with this. Local authorities are huge, as we all are, in terms of making sure that data is secure, and so absolutely compliable. So in terms of pricing, there has been conversations even just this week about how we get the pricing right. At the moment, we're going for £30 per person per licence annually. We are discussing whether it needs to be a set fee, but that's something that we're working with Birmingham and Bedfordshire and how it works for them. But essentially, in terms of the commercialisation scope, it can be potentially huge. You know, if just 5% of local authorities in England alone sign up based on 200 care leavers, Birmingham, for example, have 400 care leavers, so this is quite conservative. But essentially, you know, it's £90,000 a year if that's just the 5%. Hopefully we'll get a lot more than that. And if we get every local authority, it's just under £2 million a year. And as I say, that's a conservative amount because there's, you know, Birmingham do have double that. We've got some really good consultants, we've got some really good organisations that are working with us at the moment that have took us from an idea to where we are today. And thank you, Jess, I know you're sat there as well, so a special shout out. In terms of the timeline of the business, so it's a bit complicated really because I've had the idea for a long time. I just wasn't in a position and didn't really feel confident enough to go and set it up. But in 2022, we registered the business. In 2023, when I say we, I give the information to Tom, who then puts it into jot form. We put the idea in that. Birmingham Leaving Care came on board and said, you know what, we like the idea, let's get this properly done and let's get this built. So at the moment, we're on phase 1 of the app. We want to go down the route of building in modules. We want to be able to, at the end of that module, put quizzes in there. So it tests that young person's knowledge. They're then able to evidence that to the social worker. That will take further investment. So absolutely, we are seeking further investment to move into stage 2 at the moment. So my eyes aren't the best, but what I'm going to do, can I just invite you to close your eyes for a second, please? So it's our vision. So in 5 years' time, I'm hoping it's 5 years exactly, on April the 21st, 2029, the space for young people transitioning out of care has been completely transformed. No longer do they experience feelings of solitude, isolation or worry about independent living. Instead, they meet tasks head-on with a sense of confidence, ready to thrive as they step into adulthood, equipped with comprehensive guidance on managing finances, debt, housing, health, career and more. Encouraged by the engaging videos and podcast episodes, they approach challenges with a new profound determination, inspired by the successes of others failing similar journeys. This newfound sense of community fosters belief amongst young adults that they can harness their past experiences as a source of motivation, turn adversity into purpose as they pursue their goals. Together, we can make a difference. And these are just some quotes from Callum, Jade and Sophie, just to basically give life to the app in terms of how it's made them feel, how it supported them from move into their own property and manage their finances, manage their tenancy and become just brilliant at what they're doing. Thank you.
Fantastic.